Royal Insurance Company inaugurates its new edifice along the Barton-Harding Highway. American senior citizens are being impacted by the severe economic hardships. And the Egyptian national raised concern over the increase in fuel prices in the country. Well, this and more coming ahead on The World Today. Hello, this is Eyeafrica TV and you are watching the World Today News Bulletin live from our studios in Banjul. Many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante and now the news in detail. Now, Royal Insurance Company on Monday inaugurated a new edifice along the Barton-Harding Highway in the Kanifing municipality. The new building will house the insurance company's head office. Now, the inauguration of the structure marks the transition of the company to full ownership of its first business premises. Managing director of the company described the achievement as a dream come true, saying the construction of the new building is evidence of hard work. Moses Simendi has the details in this report.
The completion of the Royal Insurance Gambia Limited head office building is a development that consolidates the growth of Gambia's private sector. As such, the presence of President Adama Barrow and other dignitaries at the inauguration indicates the significance of the milestone achievement in line with the government's development ambitions. The construction of the Royal Insurance House was completed within a period of 18 months. It was constructed by Swami India Company. Sino Tomoso, founder and executive vice chair of the insurance company, said, "The new building is a fruit of hard work and dedication of the Royal Insurance Gambia Limited team," and called for government support as they dream to become the biggest private sector job creator in the country.
Shareholders of Royal have in the Gambia, under Your Excellency's dynamic and visionary leadership, hence poised to make further investments. In light of this, we have resolved to further expand our operations and investments in the Gambia. Our dream is to be one of the biggest private sector job creators in our dear country. Within the next few months, you will see us expand the Royal brand. I therefore appeal to your government's continued support. To my fellow directors, I can only say, let us not relax, as this is the beginning of a long journey. The Royal brand will thrive, and thrive big, in the Gambia and the sub-region. This is just the beginning.
She said the company is poised to expand operations and investment in the coming months, while describing the launch of the infrastructure as the beginning of a long journey. Speaking at the occasion, President Adama Barrow emphasized that the completion of the complex is a significant private sector achievement and therefore lauded the insurance company. He registered his government's commitment to promote insurance development in the Gambia.
Insurance is a noble profession, and it is important business for socio-economic development of any country. Thus, my government is highly committed to promoting the development of the insurance industry in the Gambia. Personally, and my government, we will continue to support the business sector. Aware of the impressive contribution of the insurance companies to national economies in the sub-region and beyond, we will continue to ensure that all necessary avenues are explored to step up and sustain relevant economic reforms that would further strengthen insurance practice and restore trust and confidence in insurance companies in the country.
President Barrow also revealed that the government is set to reform the country's Insurance Act and took the opportunity to implore foreign investors to explore other investment opportunities in the country. Paul Mendy, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, expressed delight in the development and said the achievement is a demonstration of the company's efforts to be part of the government's transformative agenda and hopes for the new building to inspire trust among customers.
The Gambian industry, insurance industry that is, comprises 11 insurance companies, 9 of which operate non-life policies, including 2 insurers, Islamic insurance, Takaful, and 2 life insurers. As of December 2021, the industry registered a total premium income of 512 million with net assets or shareholder funds of 574 million, hence immensely contributing to the socio-economic development of this country, particularly through the payment of taxes and employment creation. I am pleased to report that the Central Bank has not relented in its oversight function over the entire insurance sector. As a key component of the financial system and to ensure that the insurance business contributes meaningfully to the socio-economic development of this country, the Central Bank has embarked on reforms aimed at increasing efficiency in the sector.
Royal Insurance Gambia Limited, driven primarily by product flexibility and diversification, was established in 2014 and has since been in operation under the management of a team of Gambians. Moses Mendy, Eyeafrica News.
Now, moving on, the recently soaring inflation in America is impacting the lives of Americans, especially the elderly, who are being forced to stretch their savings to deal with the prevailing situation. Now, with inflation and consumer prices surging by their highest rate in 40 years, America's senior citizens are the hardest hit by the economic crisis. Now, despite the government support, citizens are struggling amid the high inflation. Details of that in this report.
With inflation and consumer prices surging by their highest rates in 40 years, America's senior citizens are feeling the squeeze. Having only recently emerged from pandemic isolation to socialize at his local senior center, 75-year-old Grady Evans from Georgia has found 2022 to be a struggle.
Our food budget has increased a lot, and I noticed that we're not saving any money anymore. We're spending our savings, just to get by. That's kind of worrisome.
At this senior center in the Atlanta suburbs, everyone we spoke to said they were struggling amid the rising inflation. One of the groups hit hardest by inflation is America's senior citizens, particularly those on fixed incomes. They rely on Social Security and limited savings, now being stretched to the limit and sometimes beyond. Sandy Panici is the Deputy Director of Cobb County Senior Services. She says government help for this vulnerable group goes a long way.
Unfortunately, we do not have control over the economy. In providing these services, whether it be through providing transportation, providing meals, our control is by assisting individuals to help ameliorate the effects of the inflation that they are experiencing.
And while younger folks struggling financially often look to change jobs or even take on second jobs, many seniors still open to working find their options limited. Just ask 76-year-old Gigi Gathos.
And I've been looking for work, and I'm really getting age discrimination for trying to find a job. I even had an interview last year for an administrative position. To be honest with you, the lady called me back the next day, the one who did the interview, and told me they'd rather hire someone younger because they felt that person would stay on the job longer. It's all over the place, What can we do about it?
With seniors facing perhaps the worst cost of living crisis of their lifetimes, they may be the least able to respond to the changing times.
And from the report from America, coming back to the African continent, as part of efforts to mitigate youth unemployment in Uganda, social workers are empowering street children with artistic skills to support themselves against the current economic hardship. According to the initiators, the program is meant to educate vulnerable children with different skills, especially the girls who are prone to sexual harassment, as many of them are without proper care. Local authorities have also embraced the move, saying this will help complement the efforts in addressing the situation. Let's have more details of that in this report.
A handwork of precision. The artistic work of 17-year-old Sande Kawesi.
The time I've spent here, I have learned how to do crafts, and they come out in good shape.
And he's not the only beneficiary. 15-year-old Simon Sengendo is also learning how to carve using wood.
I have learned how to shape animals out of wood, but most importantly, I have learned ethics such as patience and good behavior.
These street children are being equipped with vocational skills that will help them make a living during these hard economic times. And some of the crafts designed here are already being sold at the National Cultural Center to meet their personal needs. The majority of these children end up on the streets due to extreme poverty, family breakdown, and neglect. Many are also homeless. Social workers say girls are more vulnerable to sexual violence compared to boys.
We decided when we give them skills of sewing clothes, he can do it, and also we teach them how to make bags, and also we teach them how to make bracelets, where they can sell them.
Local authorities have welcomed this initiative. They say it will complement their work of helping children off the streets.
We are welcoming any intervention that can contribute towards downgrading the profile of street children in this country.
There are currently no credible statistics on the number of street children in Uganda. Some sources have put the figure at around 10,000. Social workers say getting children off the street takes some time, but for those acquiring hands-on skills like Derek, carving out their career could be much easier.
And from the inspiring report there from Kampala, Uganda, coming home, 400 students graduated from the Institute of Hardware and Technology Gambia Limited on Saturday. The graduates studied different skills ranging from networking, digital marketing, information technology, web development, and fields. Out of the 400 graduates, 65 grabbed permanent jobs, attracting over $7,000 in salaries. Mafujisi reports.
Speaking at the ceremony, Minister of Higher Education, Professor Pierre Gomez, said the Gambia Technical Training Institute will be transformed into a school of technology under the University of the Gambia and the Gambia College. He stressed that technical and vocational education and training is not the second option.
The Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology is embarked on the transformation of the tertiary and higher education sector, including technical and vocational education training, TVET. Because education must be relevant. Education must be fit for purpose. Education must respond to the needs and aspirations of the youth of this country. Therefore, we must respond to this national call. This was premised on the need to develop a highly skilled manpower that would champion the growth and development of various sectors of the economy. To guide the transformation agenda, a strategic plan 2021-2025 was developed and is being implemented with support from our international partners. 2 of our main public tertiary education institutions will be transformed into degree awarding institutions, and these include GTTI and Gambia College.
Focus, determination, a large amount of positivity, and patience are the words Pastor Francis Forbes left with the graduates.
How do you navigate this world of 8 billion people and find your niche, find your corner, and find that ability skill or training that you can use to pierce your world with. Consistency is a word I will live with you. Determination is another word I will live with you. Patience is another word I will live with you. Focus. You definitely have to be a focused person.
Usman Eba is the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. He also served as the former Chief Executive Officer and founder of the Indian Institute of Hardware and Technology, Gambia Limited. He shared his story.
I met this gentleman. I was honestly shocked. The first time in this country that I have gone through every ministry, through every parastatal state, to find somebody who has the same values, the same principles as I do. At one point, I came to Dr. Jao. I said, Dr. Jao, this has been taking 9 months to get this thing up and running. I am done. I'm going back to the United States. Gambia don't deserve somebody like me. He said, Mr. Ba, don't do that. You are doing it for the children of this country, not for you, but for those who are standing on your way to make this journey be a true journey. I listened to him that Friday afternoon. I will never forget that.
Tibet is widely regarded by many Gambians as a low-class job. This makes many to embark on other fields of studies to have white-collar jobs. But little do they know that Tibet is a journey to self-employment and self-independence from others who will decide for them. For Eyeafrica News, I am Mafuji Sise.
This is Eyeafrica TV, and you are watching the World Today News, bulletin live from our studios in Banjul. And from that report there, we now take a break and come back shortly. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
The Gambia OIC Secretariat, in collaboration with the Office of the President and Imogam Hotels and Resorts, wishes to invite the general public to the foundation stone laying of a 5-star Radisson Blu Hotel by the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Adama Barrow, on Saturday, 23rd July 2022 at 4 p.m. The construction of a 5-star hotel is one of the key priority projects in preparation for the forthcoming OIC Heads of State and Government Summit. The hotel will have 400 rooms, including 60 presidential and royal suites. The 5-star hotel will ensure the guests receive a befitting accommodation experience. Additionally, it will diversify our tourism portfolio by providing luxurious accommodation facilities for high-end tourists. Let's come out and support this massive development.
Welcome back, and this is Eyeafrica TV, and you are watching the World Today News bulletin. And now let's look at the rest of the stories. Now, more than 50,000 Ethiopian nationals, including women and children, have been repatriated from Saudi Arabia by authorities of this African nation. The 1.5-month repatriation process is geared towards bringing back Ethiopian citizens living in severe condition in the Gulf state. Following this successful breakthrough, the Ethiopian government vows to repatriate more citizens within Africa and beyond. Here's more details of that in this report.
Over the last month and a half, Ethiopia has repatriated about 50% of its citizens living in Saudi Arabia. In 45 days, Ethiopia has undertaken 137 chartered flights and brought back over 50,000 men, women and children.
We had planned to return 102,000 of our citizens from Saudi Arabia over the last few months through 3 flights per week. Based on our plan, we say we have done a good job.
Most of the returnees have lived in largely gruesome situations, languishing in prisons and makeshift camps across the Middle Eastern nation. The work of reintegrating returnees with local communities is now being done across Ethiopia. The government and aid agencies are also providing skills and business training opportunities to those willing to pursue different ventures to generate income. The Ethiopian Ministry of Foreign Affairs says more citizens will be assisted to come back home from different countries from across Africa and the Middle East.
We will be repatriating about 12,000 Ethiopians to their home. These countries include Tanzania, Djibouti, Sudan, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Zambia, as well as Oman. To make this task a success, we shall be working with IOM.
Thousands of Ethiopians are trafficked to the Arabian Peninsula via Djibouti and war-torn Yemen every year. They risk imprisonment and killings along the way. Reports suggest the government is working to dismantle sophisticated human trafficking networks and create economic opportunities for nationals with low income.
And that report there is coming from the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. And from the north, of course, the eastern part of the continent now to the north, where Egyptian nationals have expressed frustration over the surging fuel prices in the North African country. Fuel prices in Egypt are considered one of the lowest in the Middle East and Northern African region. However, the recent increase in prices have also skyrocketed the cost of food commodities. Experts opine that the government needs new alternatives to remedy the situation bothering its citizens. Here's more details of that in this report.
Egypt's fuel prices are recalculated every 3 months based on the price of international crude oil, the local currency exchange rate at the time, and cost of distribution. A floating local currency and rising international oil prices, triggered by global developments in the last 2 years, have pushed the fuel prices up for the 6th quarter in a row. The latest review results in the low-grade octane 80 costing $0.42, the medium at $0.45 and $11 per
actually what were 5 liter per year productions for consumptions, and unfortunately Egypt actually doesn't have enough production to cover all this product. What we are actually doing is import from outside more than 40%, and we produce 60%. Egypt has been set the oil price in the budget yearly. It's like $80 in this case. So that's why actually if the oil price has been increased dramatically to 1,110, that means the government will actually has to subsidize this amount of money to compensate this.
The result is that the oil import bill doubled to $1 billion and subsidy bills jumped by 52%, prompting the government to revise prices this month. Officials also increased diesel price, which has been unchanged since 2019. Diesel powers most public transportation in Egypt, which has in turn raised its prices by 7% this week, placing more burden on commuters.
It came as a surprise to us. I was going to work after the vacation and discovered that transportation costs have increased a lot, even more than the new fuel price. We need the government to monitor this.
It is affecting us. Our life is getting more expensive. I have 5 children and now we'll have to cope with higher costs. With the fuel increase, they will pay more for their university studies and transportation to their jobs.
The price of fuel in Egypt is considered one of the cheapest in the Middle East and North Africa region, as it retails at about $0.5 to the liter for the highest grade octane fuel. But it's still expensive. considering the minimum wage for the high-ranked public employee is $463 per month.
Egyptians are questioning if the war in Europe is prolonged. Will it lead to more fuel price hikes? Is there a limit to inflation that is leading to more load on Egyptian population?
Experts say the government is spearheading the absorption of clean energy in the transport sector to reduce costs, although the move is seen as a long-term solution.
The government itself, it need to replace this kind of things, and they need to rely on another source like a gas. If you can see there's a plan strategy from the government or the ministry to replace all the cars from the diesel and fuel to the gasoline, to the gas itself, which actually make the price of the transportation is less, and the gas actually price not so fluctuating compared with the oil price compared to this one, and this will be a good benefit of the transportation for the people in this case.
In the meantime, Egyptian officials have moved quickly to calm public concerns by announcing that suspended plans to increase electricity prices until 2023 to limit the impact on the citizens.
And that report there from the Egyptian capital, Cairo, brings us to the end of this news edition. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, as ever, you can visit on our website on Eyeafrica.tv. But for now, many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.